Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another exciting night of League of Legends action here at the Do It Big Invitational. So, tonight will just be the one game. As you guys see on the stream preview, it will be between Pokey and Hapuuma Matata. Taking a look at both of the teams' records coming in, both teams vying for that second seed. Hapuuma Matata still mathematically, if not realistically, have a shot at the first seed as well. Hapuuma Matata just ahead of Pokecard on wins at 7-4, Pokecard at 6-4. So still a lot to play for either team. Both look to be a lock for the playoffs, although nothing is technically guaranteed yet. I'll have to look into that a little bit. But it will be an exciting game. Pokecard as well have a roster change. A little bit late in the season, but it has been necessitated, and we'll get into the details about that shortly. But for now, we're going to dive straight in. I'm going to check in with each of the teams, and we're going to see if we're ready to go.
Most likely, yeah.
Hello.
Oh, we're leaking
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Rogerino.
Hey, it's me.
It's the
Hello.
boy.
How are you guys doing? Are you guys ready?
As ready as we'll ever be.
Okay,
Yep.
sounds good.
Let me get some
Where
water.
is
I'll be
like
back.
anybody on Joel's team? There we go. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. You guys should think long and hard about who you're gonna send up.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna check in with Pokecard.
That's like your GPA doesn't matter.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome, Roger.
Oh, I agree, Joel. I don't know what the context was, but yeah, fuck your GPA.
Oh, it's just my classes I'm taking right now. It doesn't matter except if I pass it.
Gotcha. How are you guys doing? Oh, there's Pokey.
Oh, we have Pokey. We have the team mascot, so we're doing well.
All right, sounds good. Ryan, do you know the little pre-game ritual that we have going on over here? Have you had a chance to check out the game yesterday?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Well, you're in for a treat. Maybe we'll get you straight onto the desk schedule.
That was our plan actually. So
Perfect.
What is
Perfect.
the game ritual?
You'll find out. You'll find out. Okay. Just pay attention in the chat when I ask for the candidates. Don't be shy.
Wait, the
Okay, so a little bit of a sneak preview there, ladies and gentlemen. You just heard the voice of one Ryan Too Cool, who will be the top lane replacement for Agent SA for Pokecard. So we're gonna get to hear from him shortly. Once we get everybody in the lobby, I will switch over to that lobby view, and then we will get the pregame interviews that everybody has been looking forward to. Okay, so where is Pokey? Pokey is here. Awesome. Alrighty then, here we go. So, just to prove that I'm not lying, boom. There is the lobby, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it will be Pokecard on blue side, and it will be Hapuuma Matata on red side. So let's get to hear from both of the candidates. Oh, and I can't type because my chat is broken. Can I get interview candidates? My chat is broken. Send interview. My chat broken. Nice game, League of Legends. Nice client, Riot Games. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Ryan?
Not too bad. I'm excited for my first game.
Yeah, all right. I'm excited for you too. So we're gonna wait for We're gonna wait for Hapuuma Matata to send up their interview candidate, and then I'm gonna talk to you about the pregame ritual that we do here.
Sure. I do not know anything about this pregame ritual, so
Okay.
it'll be a surprise.
Hell yeah. It's nothing crazy, just a couple of shots, maybe some hazing, but other than that, just your normal, frat boy ritual, I'm sure.
Sure.
Okay. It's just waiting a little bit longer.
Yeah, we were just talking about the account levels in the lobby.
Ah, uh-huh.
I was just like, wow.
Yeah. I got a lot of people that play a lot of League. That's for sure.
I need to step up my game.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like Hapuuma Matata gonna send up Hapoom. So we're gonna get a nice meeting of the top laners here in the pregame interview lobby. So Ryan, one thing we like to do here is before every game, we want to hear from at least one representative of each team. You can kind of think of it as like a pre-match, or media conference. If you watch sports, got to get a sense of how you guys are feeling going into the game. Maybe get
Sure.
some shit talk going back and forth. But before we do any of that, we first have to introduce you to our viewing audience. As the new top laner for Pokey Card, tell us a little bit about yourself, Ryan.
Hey, I'm Ryan. I'm 27. My link to the Discord is Dustin. I met him at school. We both attend law school together.
Dope. So what got you into League, and how long have you been playing League?
Let's see. I played a lot of Dota 1 way back in the day.
Ooh,
I
nice.
switched over to Heroes of New Earth, and I
Uh-huh.
thought that was the far superior game to League.
Uh-huh.
So but of course, Heroes of New Earth, that game just completely died out, and I started playing League maybe in like season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I hit plat in like season 3 and 4, and basically haven't played since until just like maybe a little bit before season 10. We're in season 10, right?
Yeah, we're season
Yeah,
11
11.
now. Yeah, the last year was season 10 though. So,
Okay, then I started playing in season 10. It's just been maybe about a year since I've been back, maybe less.
what made you decide to pick the game back up?
I was in the market for a new MOBA because I had switched over to HOTS after I quit League. Heroes of the Storm, and then Blizzard. Oh my god, they killed my game.
Yeah.
They destroyed the esports scene. I loved HOTS so much, and that game was just dead. So I had to go back to League.
Gotcha. Well, we're happy to have you back.
I'm happy to be here. I've been enjoying League recently.
Yeah. Hopefully you've had some time to, play with your new teammates. As I'm sure you've seen, they've been doing pretty well in the season thus far. It's currently at a 6-4 record, so hopefully with this addition, can keep up this positive record. But it will not be an easy task for you, unfortunately, because your first game will be in the top lane up against Hapuum. So Hapuum here has a bit of a reputation in the top lane.
Oh god.
As a zoomer in the tournament, has plenty of time to get that account level up, as you mentioned, Ryan. Hapuum, maybe you want to tell us about what you're looking forward to doing with Ryan in the top lane this game.
So, first of all, Heroes of the Storm 2.0 was a hype, but then the game died afterwards, so yeah, that's sad, but I don't know. So, there's one more, or there's like several more Ryans in this tournament, or in the server, and then, I don't know, all of them intended to be, yeah.
Intended to be what, in the top lane?
Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna say more from here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
I
not gonna
hope
say
you
anything?
don't end up like that, but
Okay. So hopefully you don't end up with another rivalry with another Ryan. Eh, Brian? Okay, maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Just something about top lane attracts all the Rise and Brise. Okay, well, meanwhile, for your team, Hapuum, talk me through kind of the mentality that you guys have. You guys are not mathematically eliminated from that #1 spot. Is this an active goal for you guys, or are you guys more or less just playing out the rest of the season and letting the chips fall where they may?
We're just playing for second place because like it's like even though it's kind of active, it's also like if Andy Lane wins one, we can't. So yeah,
For sure.
we just have to kind of hope that they fuck up, and yeah.
All right. Well, meanwhile, you got to make sure that you guys don't fuck up either. But okay.
Nah, that's not happening. That's never happening.
Ah, okay. Sure. All right. Well, with that, then we do have the table set for this game. Anything, Ryan, that you want to say to Twitch chat? So this is obviously all on twitch.tv/Mr. Rogerino. So it's a good chance for you to get some early fans. Anything you want to say to the viewing audience?
Hey Twitch chat. I'm actually a support main, so I hope I don't get top gap too hard. I've been practicing top for the past maybe 4 days, so
Nice.
let's get it.
Let's get it. Okay, so go gentle on Ryan here. Okay, his first time might not be the gentlest time, but you know, it's all fun and games here at Do It Big. Okay, well with that, then I'll let both of you go back to your respective teams. Good luck, gentlemen, and let's have a good, clean game.
Thanks, Roger.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see here if we get any co-casters to grace us with their presence, but if not, should just be a nice little solo cast kind of night. Maybe we'll get some help from Twitch chat. You guys can, pepper in some of your commentary. I'll shout you guys out. But let's take a look at these teams here. PokeCard did have to undergo a roster change, so have had a couple of their games pushed back. It will be interesting here to see how they decide to incorporate Ryan as their new top laner. If they have some different playstyles that they've planned out now that they've have Ryan in the top lane. But we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, for Hapuuma Matata, should be fun to see their playstyle. Always a bit of a roller coaster in their games, but generally a very high tempo, lane oriented team. Obviously, can run away with the game as soon as minute 5 if all their lanes really start popping off. So let's see if they decide to go for some early game oriented comps here. Helen fangirling really out in the chat. My celery man is starting. True. Okay. So, interesting ban strategy here coming out from PokeCard, excuse me. As both the Udyr and the Hecarim going to be taken away from Magnus Crow. We've seen what Magnus can do when he is on one of these two power junglers, but with both of them being banned away, let's see what Hapuuma Matata decide to do in order to make sure that Magnus can still have an impact on the game. We saw him in their previous game. I forget against, I want to say Chili's Angels, and the Udyr literally ran in, smited the Baron, and then won the game for his team. So we'll see when he doesn't have the run, stun, jobs done man, what the case is going to be. But these two jungle bans, in addition to the obligatory Aurelia ban, is going to open up a Leona pick in the hands of Ali, who has been another perennial ban target for opposing teams. So Leona going to be instantly locked in, going to be a comfortable pick here for Grace, aka Ali. I would imagine, but this is not necessarily the case, I would imagine this is going to be a Seraphine in the bot lane, so should be a good target for Leona to engage on. And it's going to be accompanied by a Dr. Mundo pick in the jungle. So that question going to get answered very early as to what's going to be the third option for Magnus Crow. Please open betting. Bless RNG. I will do that soon. Chill, Rahul. Chill. Okay. Jinx gonna be the lock now for Pokey card. This should be fun. Jinx, been the recipient of a few buffs and adjustments in the last few patches. I believe has the increased base health now, along with some changes to her Q, most importantly. And ooh, okay. We're going to get a very aggressive jungle pick coming in here from Humble Donut on the Graves. This is not a champion I don't think we've seen him play throughout the season, but I know that he plays Elise, so is comfortable with these early game oriented, potentially tempo heavy, gank heavy junglers. But Graves does also have a nice fallback option. Once he gets a few early components, can really start power clearing through the jungle too. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay, Tristana, meanwhile, going to be the pick here. So we've seen a lot of Tristana mids in recent times. Very, very burst-oriented champion, which will be augmented by Leona potentially. But I don't see Niku Toilet, aka Nep, playing that. So probably a Tristana Leona duo in the bot lane, which is a very, very aggressive lane. But we're going to see if that aggression can be manipulated by Pokecard. If Graves shows up at the wrong time, then this Leona Tristana lane is going to have a hard time up against the long range poke coming out from Jinx Seraphine. Alright, a couple more bans now. I'm going to come in. Lulu and Cho'Gath going to be taken away by Hapuuma Matata. Aatrox and Gnar, meanwhile, some more top bans aimed at Hapoom. Means here, though, there is the potential of a Yone pick in the hands of Niku Toilet. This has also been a champion that has been consistently taken away, usually in the second ban phase from Niku Toilet, but looks like Anivia going to be the lock here for Hapuuma Matata's mid laner. I know that Nep does like to play Amin and Nivea. Have had the pleasure of playing with it in ARAM, so we'll see how it does on Summoner's Rift. And Morgana gonna be hovered here, interestingly, by Pokecard. And it's going down. Okay, there it is. So Morgana going to be locked in here. Going to potentially now mean that it will be Jinx and Morgana in the bot lane, Seraphine in the mid lane. And ooh, this is spicy. So too cool here. Ryan going to be hovering the Urgot, which has been absolutely terrorizing top lane in the most recent round of patches. The Urgot W did get that change onto the on-hit modifier damage, so Urgot with the Titanic Hydra can just be an absolute menace. But we're going to see here if Hapoom can take advantage of Ryan's relative inexperience with the counter pick here, although they are deliberating quite heavily. And Jack's going to be the lock in here. So we're going to get Hapoom on Jax up against Urgot. Should have a decent matchup with the Counter-Strike, can negate a lot of damage coming in from that Urgot W, but we'll see here if that ends up being the case. And so we do have the rosters locked in for both sides, which will mean then that the bets are open. So for the left-sided team, it will be Seraphine in the mid lane, I would imagine. Yep. Morgana, Jinx in the bot lane, Graves in the jungle, Urgot in the top lane. Meanwhile, for Hapuuma Matata, Jax in the top lane, Anivia in the mid lane, Mundo in the jungle, and Leona Tristana in the bot lane. It is time for you guys to all put up your channel points. All right. Now, let's take a look at these teams here. Gonna give my professional analysis as I do. But if we take a look here at the composition coming out from Pokey Card, no out-and-out tanks, but a couple of really good scaling options. Seraphine in the mid lane with farm can either go with the more supportive route with the Moonstone Renewer. Has a couple of really strong carry options in both the Graves and the Jinx. Urgot also benefits a lot as well from just a little bit of support. But what they do lack here in this composition is an out-and-out tank. Graves and Urgot will have to serve as this semi-bruisery frontline. Urgot does favor the Titanic Hydra build now, as far as I'm concerned. Again, with the W changes, still going to do 75% of the Titanic Hydra damage at 3 times a second with the W activated. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But if they do fall behind early, it's going to mean that Jax, Leona, Mundo can absolutely just run them over. Conversely, if they can get out to an even or if they come out to an even state or get a lead, then Mundo and Leona are not going to have the tankiness to stand up to this shred that can come in from 3, really 4 damage sources. Seraphine damage, although a little bit more bursty, is not to be underestimated, especially when she can get some farm behind her. Meanwhile, for Hapuuma Matata, pretty interesting comp here. A lot of all-in the form of Jax, Tristana, and Leona going to be pretty dive heavy. Nivea going to be pretty isolated in the backline, but not too much backline threat coming out from Pokey Card. So going to be a more self-sustaining or self-sufficient damage source there. But needs to be careful as well because there are a couple of really good long-range pick tools on the side of Pokecard in both the Seraphine Snare and Encore, as well as the Morgana Binding. Maybe you can dodge out from those, then can have a good time up against Graves and Urgot, both of whom are very short-range ADCs, physical damage carries. So Anivia should be able to land a couple of crucial Flash Frosts, and if she can do that, then Graves especially will have a hard time in this game. Graves, generally speaking, does well into more physical damage comps, obviously with his True Grit stacks from his E, from that quick draw, going to mean he gets a lot of free armor, but unfortunately does not get any magic resist. So if Anivia can stay on her power curve here, can really start finding some 1 and 2 shots up against this Graves Jinx combo. Alright, but with that, we are going to load into the game. Thus far, a pretty even bet, literally 50-50 thus far. Bets will be open for about another minute here as we load into the game, ladies and gentlemen. So get hype. Okay. Oops, forgot to change the teams. We'll do that as well. So on blue side, it will be Pokecard at 6 and 4 with a new look in their top lane in the form of Too Cool, aka Ryan. And meanwhile, for Hapuuma Matata, sitting at 7 and 4, trying to secure the 2nd seed, maybe still have an outside chance at that 1st seed as well. A lot to play for in this game. Should be absolute pleasure to watch. Oops, let's take away from that. But yeah, let's take a look here. Skin game going to be won out just barely by Hapuuma Matata. Unfortunately, Florizel not going to splash the cash for that KDA Popstar, whatever the fuck you want to call it, skin that has just been burning my eyes every time I see it played with all those shiny sparkly particles. But we are loaded into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Going to take one last look then at the betting before it comes to a close. And wow, we are going to have our first 50-50 bet. I wonder if this was premeditated, but as it stands, it will be 32.9k put down for both teams here. So you will get exactly double your money if you end up winning this bet. Okay. And let's see what this start is going to be from both teams. Looks like Hapuuma and Matata here going to go for an early invade towards the top side. Meanwhile, Pokey Card here going to potentially be anticipating an invade coming out from Hapuuma and Matata, going to stack up in this tri-bush. Urgot already taking the flip, so E, if someone does have the misfortune of walking in, will get immediately flipped back into the rest of Pokey Card, which will be first blood. But looks like both teams here are just going to be handily avoiding each other. Okay. Anivia, no, now gonna spot. Ooh, this is a very extended Seraphine here. Let's see if they decide to go aggressive. Here we go. Anivia is overextended. Where is Mundo going? Anivia now gonna wonder why. Okay, gonna land a flash rock. Electric proc as well. This is a massive trade for Niku Toilet. Already taking Seraphine to about 40% HP. Mundo does not level Cleaver first, obviously in the jungle, otherwise would clear at the speed of a snail. So not gonna offer too much in terms of assistance there. But as it stands, it's going to mean here that Anivia has the early HP advantage in the mid lane. Oh, where did my summoner names go? Let's put that back on. There we go. Okay. Alright, so as we take a look here in the early game, let's talk about a little bit, hold on, in the mid lane, all of a sudden this HP advantage has disappeared. Now Anivia down to about 20% HP, Seraphine with a lot of early poke tools in both the Q and the E, as well as the auto attack. Meanwhile, Leona gonna go aggressive here, gonna be landing onto a level 1 Morgana. One more shot. No, the heal gonna come out, should save Morgana, but that was almost first blood. Almost all summoners, only Jinx saving Flash and Morgana saving Exhaust actually. So still two summoners being blown very early by the bot lane of Hapuuma Matata, reminding teams in the tournament maybe why Ollie should not be allowed to get her hands on the Leona. Alright, but I was going to say, in this early jungle matchup, Mundo does clear faster than Graves does in the early game. Graves really starts power clearing the jungle once he can get a couple of items under his belt, but with that, it should mean here that Mundo does have the early tempo, although not going to be able to hit that 315 clear will mean that both junglers will be level 3 in the jungle, or in the river if they do meet each other. But it looks like with both junglers pathing away from one another, they will be able to just 6 camp into level 4 and go towards the crab. However though, Jax here going with the early tempo and prio, going to spot Graves on the blue buff. And let's see if he does anything more than that. Hapuuma can potentially bully Graves off of the crab, but looks like that will not be the call here. So Humble Donut will be able to pick that one up. Mundo, meanwhile, going to take this opportunity to peek into Graves' jungle, but recognizing here that none of his camps, or at least the Raptor camp, is not spawned just yet. Gonna now slink back towards his jungle, but Graves is going to be here first. Actually going to have a potential counter jungle opportunity to take away these Raptors, but Mundo is very much on the way, going to be able to spot Graves in short order. With the cleaver going wide here, it's actually going to be that Graves just gives Mundo a very, very nice little leash here. Now the cleaver going to land onto Graves as well. Graves needs to be very, very careful. Going to go very, very low. One more auto from Magnus Crow, and that's going to be first blood handed to Magnus Crow. Going to be a solo kill of the jungler Sid. Meanwhile, in the top lane, going to be a Counter-Strike landing onto Urgot, but now Urgot, without that Counter-Strike available for Jax, is going to do so much damage. Gotta be careful here if you're Hapuuma. Flash is available for both top laners here. Let's see if Too Cool decides to go for it. Looks like it will not be the case. Hapuuma does have the Time Warp Tonic plus the Corrupting Pots, trying to potentially play for a bait there. But as it stands, that was Urgot getting a very favorable early trade. Okay, so Magnus Crow here continuing his recent string of good play, going to, ooh, wow, that was almost a kill for Jax there. Another round of Leap Strike plus the W damage going to be enough. But Let's see here if Urgot is wise to it. He does get a shield from his E, so it looks like Jack's now going to go in for it. Oh no! It's going to be that it is a massive bait for Urgot. There is that shield I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen, and Jax there not electing to follow Urgot with the flash is going to mean that Urgot picks up a turret, picks up a kill under his turret on to Jax. Meanwhile, going to be aggression again in the bot lane going towards Morgana. Now the exhaust going to be used as well, but you got to be careful if you're Hapuuma Matata because there is a Graves that just quick dashed over the wall. Now the smokes are going to come out as well. Leona going to try to go back in, try to pick up a kill onto Morgana, but it will be taken down by Graves just in time. And Shazam going to be forced to jump out, going to try to flash away. Going to mean that all of a sudden momentum is swinging in favor of Pokey Card here. Good plays coming out from Graves, not deterred by that early failed counter jungle attempt. Was on the Gromp there before recognizing that the bot lane was playing aggressively, able to get in there and pick up that Leona, and now can try to potentially go for a dive. Still on the Gromp for now is Graves, but let's see here if they do anything more than that. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Jax did go down earlier, but still undeterred, still going very aggressive onto Urgot, but now needs to be careful because Urgot does have that ultimate, can execute Jax from about 25% HP, and Jax has to be careful. Here we go. The Urgot shield does get popped right away. The E did not flip Jax back in, and now that means that Jax is going to go in with the counter strike, but not going to have the W reset auto, so Urgot shield will be able to reset here. Albeit at very low HP. Jax did use teleport to get back up into the top lane, so Urgot does have the advantage in that department. Should be able to get back, but the wave is pushing away from him here. Okay, so gonna use teleport to get back in short order. Okay, so as we kind of roll into the mid game here, let's kind of take stock. There's about 1,000 gold lead here for Pokey Card after these two most recent kills. In the top lane, Jax does have a solid farm advantage that has been somewhat cancelled out by the solo kill for Urgot. In the jungle, now that Graves has a couple of long swords in the inventory, going to mean that his clear speed is going to increase exponentially. For Mundo, the Bomby Cinder does help a little bit, but hold on, now going to be aggression coming in again, but there's a Graves in tow, going to mean immediately retreat call for Pokecard. Graves going to flash in now, is level 6 as well with the collateral damage, able to pick that one up, and now the zap going to land onto Leona. Good flash by Leona, could have prevented what would have been a double kill for Graves, but this has just been a massive Graves performance showing up from Humbledona, really predicting the aggression coming out from Ali and Celeryman in the bot lane, which is going to give them priority onto Dragon as well. Meanwhile, Mundo has really just been on the back foot here, not really been able to get himself into these lanes. It is going to try to take away this Rift Herald as the cross-map response, but thus far this new look Poke Card is on the ball here with the map movement, really getting their jungler in and around these important parts of the map, able to be end fights at the right time. And now Urgot going to potentially bully Mundo here off of the Rift Herald, and now Mundo going to go very, very low, going to be pulled in by the chains. It's going to be that Mundo just gets fed to Urgot before Jax really has a chance to do anything, and now the red buff is in Urgot's hands as well, which will mean that this Rift Herald can potentially get started by Graves, but it looks like Graves is actually going to walk up top here, potentially look for a gank onto Jax, and Jax is going to oblige by jumping in with the counter-strike. Graves is here, so is Morgana, going to be a 3v1 for up against Hapuuma. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, Jax is going to get exhausted, going to try to jump away, but Morgana with the stun, and that will be another kill for Too Cool. So, Too Cool with a good debut thus far, 3-0 and 0, taking advantage of Hapuuma Matata's aggression here. Good play coming out from Pokecard. Hold on, in the bot lane, Jinx going to be forced to flash away from the newly level 6 Leona though. So again, just undeterred aggression coming out from Hapuuma Matata, but maybe they need to wisen up here to what PokeCard have in store for them, because I think PokeCard are well aware of the tendencies of this team and have really been letting them play to that and forcing them into some pretty good baits. So we'll see here if Hapuuma Matata can pick some better fights with a little bit more clear picture of where exactly Graves is, because if they can do that, then they can have some success. But otherwise, Mundo not really in position to counter jungle the Graves or counter gank the Graves has meant that when Graves does show up, it's always an advantage. And meanwhile, going to be a binding landing onto Leona here as well, followed up by the chompers coming in from Jinx. Now Leona now going to go back in, but Tristana going to get her jump interrupted by the Jinx, and that means that Leona is just going to go down even through the Tristana heal. Wow, good CC lockup for PokeCard here in the bot lane. The Morgana bind plus the Jinx chompers. And interestingly there as well, the chompers do knock down, which meant that Tristana, when she tried to jump in to follow the Leona Zenith Blade, did not get past the chompers and was not able to return any damage onto the Jinx. Alright, also want to say thank you to Peter. You're just a god amongst men, my friend. Both a subscription and a tier 1 sub, man. Crazy with it. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. Meanwhile, yeah, so Urgot, oh my goodness, look at this top lane. Jack's actually gonna flash in, gonna be yanked in pretty soon. Actually gonna be set up under tower by Urgot, and now Urgot gonna eat a couple tower shots. It's gonna be that Hapuuma is able to pick up the solo kill in the top lane. Wow, masterfully played. I thought that Urgot had that one locked up. I don't think Jax did not go underneath the execute threshold necessary, which will mean that Jax is gonna be offered a massive shutdown and a potential lifeline back into this game. All things were going PokeCard's way early on, but I really think the star performer for Hapuuma Matata is Hapuuma, and we can see we've seen what happens when he can get into a lead. So now with that shutdown, is able to pick up a Divine Sunderer, and Urgot now needs to be careful. Does not have his mythic completed just yet. I would imagine it will be a Stride Breaker that he picks up. So will be interesting here to see how these top lane 1v1s continue to go. Meanwhile, Morgana going to be found out by Tristana. Does bind up Tristana just in time, because otherwise that could have been a very, very dead Morgana. We saw how much damage Tristana can do with the 4-stack explosive charge, but now this bot lane for Hapuuma Matata need to be careful, because there is a Graves waiting in the bush unbeknownst to them. Morgana and Jinx gonna come in first, but Leona needs to be careful not to get baited. There it is. The Solar Flare going to come out, and now there it is. Oh my goodness, this is just so many baits coming in, but now going to be a teleport coming in from Anivia here. Going to be matched by the teleport from Seraphine. And let's see if the Encore comes out here. The Mega Death Rocket going to split the gap here. Going to kick a field goal right between the 3 members of Hapuuma Matata. But all of a sudden 4 members here for PokeCard is going to mean that the Rift Herald should be able to get some value and pick up the first turret of the game. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the duel going to be renewed here between Jax and Urgot, but actually is going to be Jax going to go very, very low, but a couple more auto attacks. No, not going to be enough, and Jax is actually going to get ground up by the Butcher of... Is he Butcher of Zon? It doesn't matter. It's going to be ground up in the gears of Urgot. Urgot going to get just enough to bring Jax within that execute threshold. So even with the Divine Sunderer in the hands of Jax, it's going to be Urgot that wins out in that 1v1. So it's going to now again restore the momentum for PokeCard, as with that bot lane power play they were also able to pick up the second dragon of the game as well, and it will be an Ocean Soul. So if you are Hapuuma Matata, you cannot afford to keep giving up these dragons and potentially risk an Infernal Soul. So with the bot lane advantage now, it's going to be in a rotation up to the top lane for both teams here. I wonder if this is going to be a match from Pokey or if it's something that they just actively want to do, take out these outer turrets. Mid lane has been an absolute snooze fest. Outside of one errant Encore, I don't think there's been really too much action there. What we've really not seen thus far this game is Mundo. After picking up an early kill onto Graves, after Graves tried to counter jungle him, has just been farming. Hasn't tried to get into these lanes whatsoever to try to gank anybody, so it's a bit of a curious decision here. The Mundo pick for Hapuuma Matata. Not exactly the best scaling jungler, so not necessarily just, you know, the more power farm jungler that you can get away with if you are someone like Graves or Hecarim. So we'll see here if this Mundo can get himself into some of these team fights with the sadism frontline for the rest of his team while they dive in. And if they can do that, then hold on, now going to be a teleport coming in from Jax. Solarflare going to land, going to be slowing Morgana here, and the Black Shield not going to block anything because Morgana is getting aggressed on. Now Jackson coming with a counter strike, will be a pickup here, but Jinx going to be able to flash to safety, so that was a lot of resources expended for just one kill picked up by Tristana, but it will translate into the Rift Herald as well. There is, however, an Urgot in the bot lane that Anivia needs to match, and Urgot here, too cool, again, continuing his strong debut, sitting at 4-1 with the Stride Breaker. Gonna have a lot of 1v1 potential, and Anivia needs to be careful. I have no idea how the interaction works specifically with her egg. I would imagine that you get executed through the egg, because otherwise it'd be really, really funny if you just ground up Anivia and all of a sudden an egg pops out. But we'll see if we get a chance to look at that interaction as this game goes on. As it stands here, this early lead for Urgot is going to mean that Pokey is going to have the front line that they so desperately need. And Graves here with the Immortal Shield Bow as well should be a pretty hard target for the likes of Jax and Tristana to take out. Anivia here I think is going to be crucial. Going to need to land some Flash Frost because Graves is very susceptible to magic damage, as I mentioned in the pick and ban phase. As it stands here, Seraphine with a bit of a farm advantage and with the support build here in both the Moonstone Renewer and the Chemtech Putrefier. I really like this adaptation coming out from Florzel. Obviously there is a Mundo in the game, so healing reduction is a necessity, and if you can pick it up for cheap, then hold on, going to be aggression in the top lane as Jinx going to get aggressed on, going to have to be forced to heal, but now Jack's going to be forced to flash away from the zap. There would have been a potential Dark Binding landing as well, so that's going to be a summoner trade generally in favor of Pokecard. As Jinx blowing heal, Jax has to blow an all-important flash, which he absolutely is going to need to have in order to really get on top of Jinx and Seraphine. But we're going to see here what the allocations are going to be, because there is a Infernal Dragon here spawning, and now the wall landing, but the Flash Frost not. It's going to mean that Seraphine will be able to walk out here, but the Infernal Dragon is spawning here in about 20 seconds, and this is going to be an absolutely crucial dragon. I would expect the game to really start popping off. Both bot lanes are here, but Jax, meanwhile, is in the top lane, and this is not a dragon that you can really afford to give away here. Anivia over the wall does land the Flash Frost, but it's going to mean that Graves is going to be able to come in here. Wall going to be used here as well. Jax, meanwhile, not interested whatsoever in joining his team. It's going to mean this is going to be a 4v5 played by Hapuuma Matata. Let's see how they decide to negotiate this dragon fight. The Flash Frost, though, going to potentially lock up a lot of people, but Mundo really needs to get close enough to this dragon to be able to spider away. It looks like it will not be the case. The Encore, though, will go wide, however. And now the Sadism comes out. Let's see if they decide to fight here. The Solarflare going to come out here as well. Not going to be able to stun up anybody. It looks like Morgana Binding going to root up Mundo here, but Nivea still wants more. But it's going to mean here that Pokecard is able to pick up Infernal Soul Point. Alright. Looks like the aggression is not over just yet, as Leona going to poke out just a little bit too far. Going to eat the Dark Binding. Needs to be careful. The Mega Death Rocket is available for Jinx. There needs to be some body blockers Leona needs to get into Fog of War here as well because that Jinx Rock is still very much available. Let's see if it gets used here. It does get fired, but yeah, it did not find its way onto Leona. Meanwhile, looks like the call for Hapuuma Matata there was for Jax to really get some side lane pressure, but not able to push fast enough. This top lane turret still very, very healthy. Means that this is going to be a win for Pokey, and they are now put on Infernal Soul Point. In the top lane, Urgot should be able to pick up the, yep, there it is, the top lane tier 1 going to go down as well. It's going to mean that Pokecard race out to a 3,500 gold lead here into the mid game. It's going to be a very, very risky proposition for Hapuuma Matata, but there is over-aggression here. The Solar Flare not going to land, but the Graves will start getting locked up here by Leona very soon. Leona, though, going to go very, very low. The Blast Cone is not available. Going to be a quick draw over the wall from Graves. Good escape there with the help of the Flash, but the Baron going to be the one that takes up. Oh my goodness, the jungler gonna go down for for Pokecard because Baron got aggroed there. One auto attack from Baron Nashor able to pick up the Graves. That's gonna be the jungler down at 21 minutes. Let's see if Hapuuma Matata decide to turn this into a Baron attempt. They need to be careful though. Urgot is very, very strong and the Encore is available from Seraphine. So it looks like that will not be the case. Leona very, very low, gonna mean that that's all they get is a kill onto Humble Donut. But MVP Baron going to be the one that really helps out Hapuuma Matata there. Otherwise, Graves was out. Okay. As you take a look here, let's see where the gold lead is for Pokecard here. Jax, despite the 3-kill deficit, is only down about 100 gold, courtesy of the side lane farm that he has been getting. But looks to be basically just a bot lane diff. Morgana about 500 ahead of Leona, and Jinx about 1200 ahead of the Seraphine. There is also a 500 gold lead for Jinx, 500 goldie for Seraphine as well. Meanwhile, Dark Binding gonna land onto Leona. The Encore though gonna go in a little bit too late. Gonna actually mean that Jinx gets stunned up here by the Flash Frost. Oh, but Anivia gonna get egged here as well. Now going to be aggression in the bot lane as Jax is out of mana up against Urgot here. Anivia did get the Rebirth passive procced, but now it's going to be just so much damage coming out from the Urgot. Let's see if that next E can land. The slow going to come in from the Q. The next E, Jax will go down here, and there it is. So, too cool now, 5 and 1. Flash Shot's going to land onto Seraphine here, but no follow-up coming in from the rest of Hapuuma Matata. Is going to be that Anivia is going to be forced to flash following the stun. And Hapuuma Matata here, just not on the same page, it feels like. It's going to mean that now, oh, this is a Detristana, that binding. We've seen the power of the Morgana here. We saw it last night in Don't Worry We Scales game up against support diff. If Morgana can really start fishing with these binds and there aren't tanky members to either dodge it out or absorb it, it's going to mean so much pick potential for the team with Morgana, and they end up picking up the Tristana there. It's going to mean now that Baron is going to get started. It will be sided by by Leona. Teleport going to come in here from Jax. I wonder if this is the right call. There are 4 relatively squishy members here. Jax does have teleport, does have the speed buff coming in. Soulflare going to come in as well, but now there's going to be teleport coming in from Urgot, and the exhaust going to do so much up against this Jax. Jax going to go down immediately. Leona's still in the thick of it, but it's going to go down in short order. Urgot able to pick up the Anivia here. Now Mundo going to be way too late to the party. It's going to be that 4 members are now dead for Hapuuma Matata. So it's going to be a Baron plus 4 kills, and now with Dragon spawning in 15 seconds, this looks to pretty much be the game. 10 seconds left on Infernal Dragon. Is going to confirm Infernal Soul for Pokecard as well. A huge, huge performance coming out from their new top laner, Too Cool. Meanwhile, for Hapuuma Matata, going to have to go back to the drawing board here. Riding high off of their previous series of wins, but with this defeat, maybe not looking as good as they thought they did. Alright, so Baron and Infernal Soul and an 8,000 gold lead now in the hands of Pokey card here. Let's see where they decide to take this push. However, Seraphine is overextended here. The Solar Flare is going to be black shielded away by Morgana. Going to be a couple more seconds before that does go away. Let's see though. Now it does go away. The slows are going to start landing. There is a Jinx over the wall though. The Encore going to land onto 3 as well. But Seraphine now going to be overextended. Is going to go down here. But the Jinx is... Oh my goodness. The Jack's going to flash it with a Counter-Strike stun. It's going to mean that Jinx is going to be forced to flash away as well. So potentially a comeback season for Hapuuma Matata. But they need to be careful because there is still Infernal Soul available, and now, oh my goodness, the long range dive from Urgot going to yoink Anivia back in, gonna reel Anivia in, and that's gonna mean that it's gonna be a 1-for-1 so far, but the team with Baron buff and Infernal Soul gonna be more than confident to keep the push going, and now Jackson takes the blast cone. Ooh, gonna take the blast cone from Urgot over the wall, means Urgot has to flash back over, but Jinx gonna be more than happy to just auto attack Graves, auto attack Jax away. It's gonna mean so far that it's gonna be 2-for-1 in favor of Pokecard, and this Graves is gonna really be feeling himself. This Tristana not gonna be able to walk up too comfortably. There is the... Oh my goodness gracious alive with the shields, with the Immortal Shield, but gonna be a double kill for Graves, and that's gonna be all she wrote for this game. All 5 members now back alive. Seraphine with the teleport able to rejoin her team, and now an solitary Mundo gonna be the only one left up to defend the base. The Anivia does respawn here, but it's going to be far little too late as Pokecard are able to pick up the win here. A massive win, 17 to 5. 4 dragons to nothing. So this new look Pokecard led by the performance of one Ryan Too Cool in the top lane, able to put their rewrite the ship on their season. GG. Alright, let's take a look at some of the moments that really popped off in this game. So, early game we saw here, Graves try to counter jungle against the Mundo, but Mundo here able to find Graves out just early enough, and Graves using the smoke screen as well means that there were no disengage tools for Graves up against the Mundo. Mundo able to pick up a solo kill here, but after that it was pretty much the Urgot show. The first one here was a bit of a gift. Hapuuma here trying to go for the trade kill underneath the turret, but Urgot able to have just enough tankiness with the E-shield to get away, and Jax there not able to counter-strike early enough to prevent or to get that extra burst damage, meant that Urgot was able to pick up the kill, and after that a couple of good Graves plays as well. We know how much Ollie likes to fight on the Leona, and Graves here going to take advantage of just that. Was in the neighborhood for this potential engage from Leona, able to pick up a kill there onto her, and then we saw that repeated here again at around the level 5 to level 6 mark. As soon as Leona dinged level 6, we knew that she wanted to go in, and look where Graves was. There we go. So yeah, this is really good. I really like this play coming out from Humble Donut, and in general this is something I want junglers to do in the tournament as well. It's just anticipating aggression. This is a gank that you can set up basically guaranteed, because you know how the other lane wants to play. They want to aggress, they want to play for the 2v2. And if you can correctly predict when they decide to go for those 2v2s, you have the freest gank of your life, because you don't need any setup whatsoever. So a couple of just really opportune ganks from Graves really stopped the snowball coming in from the Tristana Leona bot lane, and Mundo meanwhile was unable to really do anything on the other side of the map. In fact, ended up going down to Urgot here, courtesy of some good presence from Too Cool, able to walk around, take the blast cone over, and just reel Mundo back in. Yoink! Yeah, and all that meant that when the Baron fights kicked off, or when the Dragon fights kicked off, Pokecard were playing at a gold and champion advantage, and able to snowball that throughout the rest of the game. Not really any explosive team fights per se throughout the game, but rather just really smart coordinated play, able to pick off 1 or 2 members every single time from Hapuuma Matata and translate those advantages into objective secures. The closest thing I think to a all-out brawl was at this Baron, which really secured the game for Pokecard. Before going down to about 4k here, going to be a call from Hapuuma to teleport in. via this control ward, but it was a very early 2v4, and with the Morgana exhaust, it meant that Jax, without an early lead, was just so easy to take down. The exhaust going to negate pretty much all the damage, plus the Encore on top, just the CC chain too much to overcome, and Urgot meanwhile going to teleport back in and pick up the Anivia on the side. And Magnus Crow unfortunately not going to be able to repeat the Baron steal that he did last week, and that really spelled the end of the game for Hapuuma Matata. But nevertheless, it will be GG to Pokey. We're going to hear from them very, very soon. And let's go ahead and pay out those bettors who invested in Pokey. So there you go. Congratulations to, among others, Mr. Chunks and only 4 others. So let's see. I want to. All right. So Mr. Chunks. Oh my goodness, Pizza, you're on a roll with these gambles. After some early losses, I think you've been just hitting recently. Congratulations. Akuji, Rahul, and the Northwest 20 also going to be winning some channel points here. So congratulations. I'm sorry, Helen. It was not meant to be for the Celery Man tonight. But Hapuuma Matata falling to 7 and 5, still, in a very, very comfortable position in the standings. Unfortunately, though, it will mean that they do not have a shot at the #1 seed. So a small aside, congratulations to Andyland for locking up #1 seed going into the playoffs. But let's take a look at the damage charts here for this game. Jinx, a strong performance coming out from PC Puppy Chow, aka Dustin. And the second highest damage dealer, Urgot. So we're going to hear from them shortly. And yeah, I really want to get to know what their thought process was behind some of these picks. So let's do just that. Where are they? Okay.
Hello, Roger.
Hello. All right. So Ryan, this is the second little tradition that we have here. Just as we have a pre-game interview, we have a post-game interview. And off the back of that performance, you are definitely going to be on the post-game interview desk. What a debut. What a debut. Congratulations to you and to PokeCard for coming out with the win. So, first question to Ryan, obviously. Urgot 7-1 and 3 this game. I mentioned in the pregame, this is going to be a baptism by fire up against Hapuuma, but you made it look like light work. Is this a pick that we have to watch out for from you going forward, or do you have a lot more tricks in the bag besides just Urgot in the top lane?
Urgot was like one of the main champions that kind of got me back into League when, like, maybe early season 10 or something, when I first started playing. I picked up Urgot because I thought he was like a weird champion, and I played him for like 40 games straight.
Oh wow.
So he's like one of my mains at the time, but then I moved off top lane, and I've just been playing support and then secondary role ADC since then. Wow.
Okay, well, I mean, you look like a natural top laner in that game. A couple of really nice snipes as well with the ultimate. I guess just one really nice snipe on Anivia in the mid lane. How were you able to see that one?
It was, that one was in the fog. I figured he would be hugging the wall to try and escape back into his bot side jungle. So I just kind of shot the hook along the wall, and there he was.
So that was a blind shot.
Got lucky.
All right.
Yeah, we didn't have a vision on the area.
Support map sense, maybe. Can translate. Anyways, that's awesome. Again, massive debut for Ryan. Meanwhile, also a massive game for Dustin on the Jinx. Have we seen you play Jinx yet this season?
I want to say first time in the tournament. Yeah.
Okay, I want to say it's mostly been a steady diet of like Ashe and Senna, I feel like. So, what made you decide to go with Jinx this game?
Their team didn't allow me to debut the Aphelios.
Ah.
And after that, I was like, "Hey, Jinx is really strong on this patch.
True.
Let's pick an auto attacker."
Uh-huh.
And it worked out pretty well. Luckily, I had Morgana to toss the black shields on me whenever it went awry, and I think exhaust was actually super key that game. It definitely takes down a bit of the threat from Tristana and then Jack's late game. So that made it easier to operate.
Yeah. No, I mean it looked really really good. I really liked how you guys I think like baited the aggression as well. I noticed that Graves was hovering around a lot, and then you guys were like, okay, well we'll let Leona engage on us, and then Graves will be right here. So I think really really good play in general coming out from your guys' team. How are your guys' communications? How is it incorporating Ryan into the team?
It's felt pretty good. We just picked him up 4 days ago, and we've been able to get some practices in every night, and it's felt pretty good.
Yeah, I've played with Dustin and Joel a lot before I joined the team, and Derek just a little bit. This is my first time playing with Pokey though, Lucy.
Gotcha. Well, you guys look like a well-oiled machine, if I do say so myself. Perhaps another warning shot fired to the rest of the league here. It's going to mean that your guys' record is now at 7-4, gonna put you guys ahead of Hapuuma Matata, with just ahead on losses. But that means that you guys are technically now the holders of the number 2 seed. So potentially going to be playing for that playoff bye in the quarterfinals. Congratulations once again. And the next time we're going to see Pokey Card is Saturday.
The Strag.
All right, so we'll get to see here if Too Cool can make it 2 for 2 on Saturday at 8 p.m. But we're now going to look forward to tomorrow because there are a couple games tomorrow before Saturday. But yeah, again, congratulations to you guys. Anything you want to say to your fans? Ryan, I'm sure you have a lot of new fans in Twitch chat.
Thank you everyone for your support. I know it was tough betting on me because I'm a support main, but thank you for doing it anyways.
All right, yeah. Gonna be a lot more people betting on you after that game, I'm sure. Dustin, anything you want to say?
Just to any of the teams out there that we're facing, just see if we can get an Aphelios debut in this tournament since no one's picked it yet.
Okay. So you hear that? Dustin really wants to play Aphelios. Let him play Aphelios. Just do it.
Yes,
okay.
Please.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Roger.
Yeah, thank you guys. And GG.
Thanks, Roger.
GG. All right. So with that then, going to look forward to tomorrow. We have a pair of games starting at 8 p.m. PST. It will be Support Diff up against Chili's Angels. We saw Support Diff unfortunately take the L last night against Don't Worry We Scale, but they did promise that they were going to end the season at 7-7, so that means they need to win their next 2 games in order to accomplish that. Meanwhile, for Chili's Angels, new look for them, not in terms of players, but in terms of playstyle. So we're going to see if they continue that for tomorrow. Both teams still in the thick of the playoff chase at 4th and 5th in the standings, respectively. That will be our 8 p.m. game. At 9 p.m., it will be Hapuuma Matata looking to bounce back, but it will be no easy feat up against the now confirmed number 1 seed in Andyland. Andyland at 10-2. However, one of those 2 was a loss to Hapuuma Matata, so Hapuuma Matata here should feel as confident as any other team in the tournament despite this setback tonight. All right, so that will be our slate for tomorrow. 2 games starting at 8 p.m. PST. Don't miss it. Good night, Twitch chat. I will see you all tomorrow. Keep doing it big.